Hey folks, Michael Mann with Michael Mann Security Services. Welcome to the Church Security Minute, and we are going to talk about standard operating procedures. Alrighty. So, hey folks, if you want to get a hold of us, get us at contact@michaelmannsecurityservices.com. You can also call us at 615-956-3912. 615-956-3912. All right, let's talk about it. Standard operating procedures. So standard operating procedures, or SOPs, are written instructions that describes a step-by-step process that must be taken to properly perform routine activities. So at your, for your volunteers at your church. So here's why we want this. Number one, it creates a standard. Okay. Number two, this keeps us away from error-likely situations. So doing something maybe we should not do, or doing something incorrectly. So we have a process or procedure to do it. And also it lessens liability for the church. So these are reasons why SOPs are important. Now, some things to consider when we start talking about SOPs in houses of worship, especially when we start talking about volunteers. Remember, these are volunteers. So they're butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers during the day. Most of them. On Sunday, they want to come in, they want to volunteer. So their experience level in physical protection and security is, a lot of times is at a novice level. So we want to just be careful about, and I'll get into this in a second, how we write their procedures, what training and validation looks like for these team members. Because again, this is not, a lot of times it's not, and sometimes it is, but the majority of it's not. They're volunteers, they're not licensed. This is not what they do for a living. And so we will be very careful about how we train them. So we probably want to take more time, and we want to validate to ensure that they understand exactly what it is they need to be doing. Okay. So procedure development. So we save ourselves some time. Develop a template for your procedure to start with, so you're not going back and reinventing the wheel every time. Okay. Step number two is identify the task. So what task needs to be done here? Does it have to do with a certain post? Is it a patrol procedure? Is it how we greet people? What does the task look like? Define the scope of the procedure once you identify the task. So you're going to list the scope, or you're going to define that, and to start to, so that's kind of the meat of the procedure, to understand what needs to be communicated. Once you do that, meet with your team, talk about what the scope is and the task, just to ensure that whatever it is you're doing or what you're writing down is actually going to work. Like, if I don't validate this process with the team, I might put something out that they can't even use. So make sure that you meet with your team or your audience, okay? Then you're going to define your critical tasks. What does it take to do this? And then you're going to document that in the procedure. Make it brief and very easy to understand. Again, you got volunteers here. These are not, Marine Corps Embassy guards. These are folks that are volunteering and serving the church on Sunday. And so we'll make this as simple as possible. Then just go ahead and review that process. So go back through and review, make sure that everything is lined up, and do that with the team. Communicate this policy with church leadership. Make sure that you do that to make sure they understand what's coming and they agree with it. And then distribute the policy and train your team. And then continuous improvement just means that what you're going to do is you're going to go back and you're going to look at the procedure every 3 to 6 months to make sure it doesn't need to be changed. Okay, folks. If you want to get a hold of us, you can get us at contact@michaelmannsecurityservice.com. You can give me a call at 615-956-3912. And remember, folks, it is about prevention, not response.